We start on the local economic front. Korea's current account remains in the red for a second month in a row as semiconductor shipments overseas continue to shrink. Our Moon Hye-ryeon reports.
South Korea's current account recorded a deficit for the second month in a row in February. Preliminary data released by the Bank of Korea on Friday shows that the country's account balance was in the red by $520 million. This is down more than $6.3 billion from the current account balance recorded at the same time last year. This follows a record high deficit the previous month. The goods balance suffered the greatest losses in February, falling by more than $5.6 billion on year to record a $1.3 billion deficit. It's the fifth consecutive month that South Korea's goods account has recorded a deficit. This was attributed to the sharp decline in exports, which dropped by $3.4 billion on year to $50.5 billion, a decline of more than 6%. The semiconductor and chemical goods sectors performed the most poorly. Exports of semiconductors fell by 41.5% compared to the same month last year, and chemical goods exports were down by 9.8% amid the economic slowdown. On the other hand, imports rose by $2.2 billion on year to nearly $52 billion. In particular, imports of raw materials such as gas and chemical industrial goods rose by over 7% compared to last year. For gas alone, imports rose by nearly 73% to over $6.1 billion. Meanwhile, the deficit in the service account, which includes earnings and spending on overseas trips and transport, came to over $2 billion in February. The travel balance deficit more than doubled on year, from $430 million to over $1 billion due to the easing of COVID-19 restrictions, prompting more Koreans to travel overseas. It remains to be seen whether this will improve with more inbound travelers from China, and the Bank of Korea remains optimistic that the goods balance will also improve amid hopes of an improvement in the semiconductor sector in the second half of the year. Moon Hye-ryeon, Arirang News.